Um, my name is Becky Nelson. I am a campfire survivor. I lived in Paradise for 40 years, working as an educator in the local schools for nearly 27 years. My husband and I evacuated Paradise on the morning of Thursday morning, November 8th, during the campfire. The evacuation that day, to say the least, was not an easy journey. The evacuation out of Paradise took me nearly 4 hours when I finally reached my son's home in Chico. This drive to his house would normally take me 20 minutes. In some ways, I feel that I haven't finished that evacuation journey because of the deep impact this event has had on my life. At one point during the evacuation, driving out of Paradise, I was confronted with flames and realized that I may not make it out. Luckily, I was able to get a call through to some of my family members. I frantically told them what was happening and that I was in a pretty bad way. I was also able to reach my husband, who was somewhere behind me evacuating on the same road in another car. I told him that he would have to face an awful gauntlet of flames in order to get out the way we were traveling. I begged him to consider looking for another road out. It was inconceivable to me at the time there was no safe way out of Paradise. Later, I learned that all escape routes were on fire. Days later, we learned that my 65-year-old sister, Debbie Morningstar, lost her life in the fire. She was a loving member of the Tomer family of which I was born. She was a sister, a daughter, and an aunt. She lived in Paradise for more than 35 years. At the time of the fire, she lived alone with her cats. She could not escape the flames that consumed the entire town of Paradise. She did not drive, which prevented her from being able to leave her home. She did not deserve to die this way. Normally, during an evacuation, having faced several evacuations over the 40 years in Paradise, my husband and I would go to check on my sister because she had no way to leave. On this day for this fire, there was simply no way to reach her. I was literally stuck in traffic on Skyway, sandwiched between 4 lanes of cars, traveling at either a snail's pace or not at all. The best I could do was to get my other family members to contact the police so they could help Debbie evacuate. I believed at the time that the police would send someone to help her out of the fire. The authorities did finally reach Debbie, but it was 2 days later, on Saturday, November 10th, 2018. Their delay in reaching my sister was directly related to the size and scope of the campfire and the overwhelming needs that stretched all the community resources beyond their limits. The police simply could not get to her because they were busy attending to greater community needs, such as evacuating hospitals and nursing homes. I don't know if you can really understand how hard it has been for me and my family to process that my sister lost her life in the fire. For me, it is especially difficult because I thought at one point I would lose my life on that day. When evacuating, I was in sheer panic, driving through the flames in the blackest smoke I'd ever seen. I still have nightmares, as well as thoughts in the daytime awake hours of what Debbie's last moments must have been like. I imagine her holding her beloved cats as the smoke and flames took her life. For my son, when he was able to finally visit Debbie's home where she died, he actually found some of her remains left by the coroners who hastily, in their retrieval, left part of her body there. This is a horrific memory he will have to live for his whole life. On some days, it's just too much to bear. I've been fighting every day to stay mentally strong since the fire. It has been a struggle, a real fight to get through the obvious trauma my family and I experienced that day. I had to add one more thing to this tragedy. My entire town was destroyed. Our way of life, the lives of my friends and family were all destroyed that day. Street after street, Business after business, family after family, church after church, school after school were destroyed. My husband and I lived and worked in paradise for 40 years. My son was born and raised in the home we lost, though it pales in comparison to losing my sister, as my husband and I have begun to rebuild our lives. There are constant daily reminders that we lost our beloved paradise home. All of our mementos, pictures, precious items, all that we built, owned it, cherished it, loved. The things that made our house a home are now gone. Today, our new life is void of these things we held dear. I know that I am just one voice of the thousands of people who lost so much because of the campfire, but I want you to hear my voice. I want those of you who are in the power and the authority to hold PG&E accountable to make sure they will never do this again. I don't want what happened to the people in towns of Paradise, Magalia, and Concow to happen to any other community. PG&E must be made to make safety their #1 priority. And now that PG&E has admitted to their part in causing the fire, damaging so many lives, they should receive a sentence that matches their culpability, taking into account that this is not the first time they have caused death, destruction, and injury to their customers. Simply put, the decent and right thing to do now is assign the most severe penalty allowed under the law. Thank you for taking the time to hear my story.
Thank you, Ms. Nelson.